And some of you know this, some of you are in for a treat, you're in for a surprise. And what I'd like to do is, another individual besides myself who's worked heavily with this individual and knew her and her husband prior to getting involved with this company. And what I'd like to do is I'd just like to pass it over to him so he can say a few words about her and what she's been able to accomplish and why. So, Mr. Christopher Wright, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir. I recall having the opportunity, I won't look at you, having the opportunity to, I went to a charity event and I was asked to go to that event by my wife. I really didn't want to go. And she said, get dressed, we're going to pizza. So I changed my clothes and it was downtown, and I was actually thinking about this individual, and I was wondering how I could get into contact with him because I hadn't had his number. And lo and behold, he was there. And we talked briefly, and I asked him, do you look at other ways of making extra income? I know you're already successful and you're doing well. He said yes. And his wife happened to be there. And they came out, I invited him to an opportunity to go to this private business reception. During that opportunity, she was already created a list of about 25 names and numbers on a sheet of paper. So she was ready to run, her husband was ready to run. It was just a pleasure. I've already known them prior to this opportunity, and they were just wonderful individuals. They're staples in the community. They're always helping people have success. So it's no wonder that they're having success in other opportunities, and they came into this opportunity, and now they're having massive success. So I'm just blessed to even know them previously, blessed to be working with them now, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Julian Lewis.
So I didn't know this individual before ACN, but when I met her, I had already known who she was. When I was in college, I cut hair, and I had heard all about the success she was having in her salons in the late 90s, and being able to create something here in San Diego that she's been able to accomplish was incredible. Then I realized how amazing she was as a family person and what she's been able to accomplish for her children and as a wife. And I'm so honored and privileged to be able to say that she's a business partner of ours. And I remember her being very, very hard-headed in the very beginning. But here's what I want to tell you. That was her strength. And she busted through brick walls. Time-wise, figuring out logistics. And so what I want to do is I'm actually going to bring my mentor up here, Mr. Dakota Bragg, so that he can promote the newest promoted regional director in the company. And guys,
all right, guys, are you excited about this next promotion? Guys, no one's more excited than the leaders up here because we saw this individual sitting in that audience just like every one of you as a guest that's here today, looking, listening, and understanding this for the very first time. And is there any guests in the room by a show of hands? Can we give all the guests a round of applause? And what's really amazing is not only is she a family woman, but she has a family. She runs a business. She's active in her community. She only could squeeze ACN part-time into her life. And in that part-time squeezing of ACN, she made every second count. She talked with passion. She had purpose in her step, and she broke the position of regional director in 28 months. Please help me congratulate LaQuanda Buncom.
so I have my cheat sheet. Okay, I got it. Thank you guys, thank you. My short, brief background, since I didn't say it at the earlier testimonials, is that I've been a business owner since I was 19 years old, and what I didn't plan to do was plan for retirement. I didn't put money away for retirement. So I had a light bulb moment in 2013, and Mr. Christopher Wright, I'm telling you, the placement was at the right time for him to run into my husband, and we went to the charity event through someone my husband knew. And I'm telling you, God makes no mistakes, and he shows up right on time. Now, I made a challenge with myself that I wasn't going to cry today, because me and my team, we are accredited for Team Cry Cry. I'm not going to cry today. First of all, I don't have on the right eyelashes, so. I first want to give it to God, first of all, for giving me the strength to push through when I don't want to, when I don't want to make calls, when I don't want to follow through. Still can get better on some of those things, but in a short period of time, he has made it able. Two, I want to give a special thanks to my husband for allowing me to do double-digit PBRs out of town in different marketplaces. He's seen the fruition of when the checks are coming in, and when I leave, he say, "Go out and get us rich." I'm like, okay. Came to the international, and that was the best thing that could have happened for me, because that night he was like, "Okay, this is how we're gonna do this. Okay, I'll take your dish day, he's took everything from me. The only thing that he requires for me to do is cook on Sunday. So get better at that. He said, "Okay, so when are you gonna start doing PBRs on Sunday?" I put the food in the crock pot. And three, my children. I want to thank my children. My children are here. 4 of my girls are here. My 2 sons aren't here. I have one that's off in college at Stanford University, so he couldn't be here today. And my 11-year-old just figured that Easter egg hunting today was better than his mom's promotion. And I just want to say that this business is life-changing. I don't know if you guys know what you really have. If you go to work with this, it's not a game. This is really freedom and lifestyle. And I put in work. And my children, they haven't seen me a lot. And I had one day I was on my way home, and I was just thinking, I haven't really seen my kids a lot. And I had a light breakdown in the car. So I was crying, and I pull up at home, and I go in the house, and the kitchen wasn't clean. And I just went ballistic, kicked in doors, I forgot. Okay, so then I went upstairs and booked more PBRs. Then I want to say that, and lastly, in closing, I want to thank my parents. My parents is here. You guys know my story and how I feel about my mom. Okay, I brought some just in case. I'm gonna see. I don't like to do this, so I'm not crying. My mom is sick, and I just want to thank my parents for raising phenomenal kids. They have 4 children that they raised phenomenally, and I'm going to put a special emphasis on me. My parents, this is just the start of what's yet to come, and my 2 wonderful grandkids that are here. Keyshawn, I call him baby. He'll be running track at 15 years old, and I'll still be calling him baby. And then little honey, she's over there as well. So I just want to thank my family. I want to, oh, wait a minute. Definitely can't leave out my team. Without my team, none of this would happen. This is not about me in the least bit, because there's no way in this world this can happen without your organization. So when I stand up here, I'm giving them the credit as well, because you guys did that. I always tell these ones over there, you guys are my money lady. So thank you. This is an honor and a privilege, and my goal is to, in the next 12-month run, on my RVP run, because I don't like to be limited to my money. I want that bottom to drop. Thank you.